So, recently, dictator, or should I say communist, Attorney General from New York, Letitia James, recently was able to be in her glory. She recently scored a victory with 45. Former President 45, Donald Trump. She recently went after him, and her whole campaign and her movement since 2018 was to go after 45. She continued to talk about him being a white man and he was racist, and she was all about scoring a victory against a so-called racist president that she felt like was unfit to be in office, and she was ready to be on her. She was on a rampage, and her whole movement was about Donald Trump. She went to sleep and woke up, and thought about 45 and Donald Trump day in and day out. From morning, noon to night, she was thinking about Donald Trump obsessively. So recently, she was able to score a temporary victory on 45 because she said that he was a fraud. And when I say, she means that he was a fraud when 45 was taking out business loans to fund his real estate business because he is the top 5 real estate guy in America. She says that he fraudulently said he made this enormous amount of money and that he only said he was making this enormous amount of money so he can get low interest on his loans. And she said that was fraud. According to the banks, the bank says 45, Trump, he's good business. He's a good businessman. He's the hardest working man they know. And he's always paying back his loans on time, and they're never late, and they're exact money that he borrowed from. But according to Letitia James, she wasn't satisfied with that. She got lucky. Well, I wouldn't even say lucky because it seems like he has his judge maybe once, maybe twice, even 3 times. For Jeannie Carroll, and now for Letitia James. See, she is trying to destroy him, destroy his movement. She doesn't even want him running. This is her whole objective, agenda, and motive. So now businesses are running out of New York, and they've been gone since the beginning of the pandemic. $80 billion has left New York since the pandemic, and because of the high tax bracket, they ran even faster. They went where their money was appreciated. Their tax bracket was welcome, which is Florida and Texas, the red states. And they're never coming back to return to New York. Of course they're not going to return back to New York. There's too many rats here. Too many rats, too many raccoons. And the corruption is at an all-time high. So the whole movement of Letitia James was going after Trump. So she was able to get appointed a judge that would take her side and made sure that she would score a victory. Well, at least a temporary one for now. But according to her, she wants the money right now. She wants to see him penniless. But to be honest, he's allowed to have an appeal. He's allowed due process, and he's not able to do it according to Letitia James and the judge in Goron. But he is allowed to have an appeal. So she's upset about that. She's very angry. And she's on a rampage about that because she wants the money right away. Well, why would she want the money right away? Because New York City is definitely broke. New York City is definitely broke. Well, according to her, tourism is up and Wall Street is doing so well that she doesn't need Donald Trump's money. She just wants him to pay the penalty. But in all reality, she's in denial. She's fooling herself. Because for now, from what I understand, there's more businesses that are leaving. Over $2 billion is getting ready to walk up out of here. It's already going now. Truckers are not wanting to come do business in here because they are going on strike on New York. Can you blame them? Because if they destroy Donald Trump, think about what they'll do for small businesses. And I'm telling you, small businesses around New York City are closing everywhere. Blowout sales, stores are closing everywhere, rent is going up enormously. We have the highest rent in the world, New York. And they know that. And they don't care. They want to stomp on the middle class. I mean, the middle class is definitely over with. There's no more middle class. It's going to be poor and it's going to be rich. But according to Letitia James, she wants to see Donald Trump penniless. And she wants to take action on his money. And even going after his sons and his kids to make sure they don't have anything. So, also, I think that he had the same judge when he had to deal with Jeannie Carroll, the one that accused him of sexual harassment in the 80s. She was able to walk away with $5 million the first time. Then she said that he was smearing her name And she sued him for character defamation. And she walked away with another $345 million. And I think she had the same judge as well. So it seems like there's two different justice systems, one for Donald Trump and one for Democrats. Because one thing about her whole extortion was about Donald Trump. So his legal team is definitely sending their paperwork to American Bar Association and put in a request for her to be suspended or barred from life from practicing law. Can you blame them? She's out of control. She's lost her mind. She is definitely abusing her power. I mean, with all the crime that's going on in New York City, you would think she would take action on that. But according to her, Donald Trump is not above the law, which is a lie. I mean, to be honest with you, my brother was murdered not too long ago, about 1.5 years ago. Murdered by an illegal immigrant. And we didn't get a call from Letitia James, Eric Adams, Hochul. They didn't give a damn. The last time they picked him up he was on his 4th homicide when they picked him up. So I guess the only people that's not above the law is Trump and, the so-called Red Wing. She sees no error in her ways, and she thinks she's running a healthy, flooded money state. And like he said, Kevin O'Leary says, New York is a losing state. And I truly believe he's right about that. It is a losing state. We were so productive when Donald Trump was in office. She even was able to get Governor Cuomo to, resign. Because according to Letitia James, he was accused of sexual assault. And he's responsible for all of the elderly people that passed away in the nursing home during the pandemic. So he was able to, she had him resign. But now he's going after her. He's suing her for character defamation. But she doesn't care. She thinks she's above the law herself. And one thing about that, what goes up must come down. But she's saying, guess what? He needs to pay that money right away. So he posted $100 million so far. And now he's requesting appeal. But they want to deny him his appeal too. And then she goes on and says if he doesn't pay his debt and doesn't pay it right away, she's going to shimmy on down to Trump Towers. And she's going to seize that as well. Wow. I've never seen so much corruption in my life. I'm blown away. And I'm like, where is this movement going and how far she's going to go? But they reelected her again for another 4 years. But you never know. With the American Bar Association, they might be able to revoke her license. Because she's out of control. She's out of her mind. They have all of the videos and the documentaries on her and the paperwork to show the American Bar Association. This woman was extorting Trump. She was harassing him. She was out to get him since day one. Her whole campaign was a Trump movement of removing a so-called alleged racist out of the country. She's running him down to the ground. But how far will she go until they stop her right in her tracks and let her know who really is boss around here? But yeah, she's out of control right now. She has definitely lost her mind. I mean, day in and day out, she's thinking about 45, thinking about his money. Because New York City is going broke, like I said. But when you think you're in control, you're really out of control. But let's see how long she continues this madness. How long will this movement go on? And where is it going? When is it going to stop? Keep coming back. More to be revealed.